Looking at the NFL standing, we are already 1/3 through the entire season, and through the first 5 games we only have 2 undefeated teams remaining, and those 2 undefeated teams are not surprising anyone on why they're undefeated, as they were really great last year. And since we're speaking about last year, the Denver Broncos were horrible in offense. And this year we have 3 teams that are on the bottom or about the same level as the Broncos were last year in offense. And those teams are in these 3 divisions. And before we get into the video, can you guess just by looking at the divisions which 3 teams are in the bottom of the league in offense? Before we start the video, join our league on DraftKings. Look for SportsPod. The link is also in the description. We will be playing college football, NBA, and NFL football. Join the league. There will be free games and games that cost an entry fee. Now let's get back to the video.
One more thing.
Before I forget to mention, rather than just being an everyday sports channel, we're a sports channel based off of sports betting data. In fact, the video that you are watching right now is using data I was able to get from DraftKings. So in short, using the point system in DraftKings, I'm able to port the data into an Excel sheet and compare the points between 2 teams and get more accurate data on what each player can achieve against the team they're playing. Using the data, these are my picks for tonight's game. Now, coming in at number 3, the New York Jets. After starting the season with the utmost anticipation, after being featured on Hard Knocks, just to have their season drastically turned upside down within the first 4 plays, Aaron Rodgers lasting one more stroke than my first time, and having to go to Zach Wilson, who has looked like a deer in headlights in his first 2 games, but has risen to a consistent average gameplay, which has led the Jets to a 2-3 record. But mainly the Jets are being spearheaded by their great defense. And with an amazing running back in Breece Hall, if Zach can keep his turnovers down and be more decisive with his passing, I can easily see the Jets moving out of the bottom 3 and settling around the bottom 10, which can be a great spot for a playoff push if their defense is still spearheading each game. So using the data, the Jets have accumulated a total of 144.7 positive fantasy points in the season. Now coming in at number 2, a surprising number 2 if we were to take a blind test before the season started and guess which teams would have a struggling offensive season, is the Cleveland Browns. With a full offseason under their belts, one would think that with the receiver, the caliber of Amari Cooper, and the talent base of Deshaun Watson, and the running prowess of Nick Chubb, that the Browns would be a top 10 offense in the league. Well, maybe top 16 after Nick Chubb tore his MCL in week 2 of the young season. Now, compound that with Deshaun Watson, who kind of looks like the game hasn't been coming to him as it was before his alleged crimes that cost him almost 2 seasons of his career. Now adding the fact that he's now injured and did not play in Game 4 and is looking to miss Game 5. It summarizes why their offense is the second worst, coming in with 128.4 total positive fantasy points. Now that we have 2 down, were you guys right so far in your guessing with the bottom 2? Because if you have been right so far, then number 1 should be the easiest. Coming in at number 1 as the worst offense in all of football is the New York Giants. I mean, after signing Daniel Jones to an $82 million contract and not improving their offensive line, the man has been sacked 30 times in just 5 games. The Giants has Danny Dimes looking like a Kardashian with how many sacks has ran through him. And with their playmaker Saquon Barkley in and out of the lineup with injuries, and a receiving core that isn't the worst but also isn't the best, and you compound that with an offensive line that can't hold up to any pressure past 2.4 seconds, this will land you at number 1. And the question is out there, is Daniel Jones an average quarterback, a possible great quarterback, or is he a bad QB? I would say, based on his numbers, that he's equivalent to a Ryan Tannehill, because both Ryan Tannehill and Daniel Jones have been the most sacked QB, spanning 3+ years in one moment in their career. And with both of them being sacked so much, there's times where you can see a moment of greatness. And when they're not being pressured so much, that makes you think that they are an above average quarterback, and at one point viewed as a possible franchise QB. But it's hard to tell most of the season because they never have the minimal time to throw the ball. So their evaluation process spans year over year over year. But nonetheless, the Giants are a great franchise. In the last 23 years, they have been to 3 Super Bowls and have won 2. If they shore up the offensive line and legitimize their wide receiver core, they should be a high-scoring offense. And if it wasn't for them getting sacked so much, they wouldn't be in the bottom 3. Wrapping up this video with the New York Giants coming in with a total of 119.6 positive fantasy points. Thank you for watching. Please like and share, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank you.